In Niger, a series of attacks against the capital Niamey and Difa, the big city of the southeast, were foiled this week following an announcement made on Monday by the government, which, however, did not give any information on the identity of suspected terrorists. This Wednesday, June 5th, the World Environment Day organized by the United Nations raises awareness around the issue of air pollution and recalls that waste production is one of the main factors in the emission of noxious gases in the air. At last, Cameroon will be present at the 2019 African Cup of Nations in Egypt, despite various appeals by Comoros. The CAS, Court of Arbitration for Sports, finally rejected its request to exclude Cameroon from the next African Cup of Nations. These are our top stories. Stay tuned for more details in this newscast. The Gabonese Minister of Foreign Affairs Abdul Razak Guy Kambogo just received the Medal of Grand Honor of Wissam Al-Alawi, a medal awarded by His Majesty Mohammed VI, the Moroccan King. This award rewards the service rendered by the then Gabonese ambassador to Morocco. This distinction also testifies to the close relationship between Gabon and the Sharif Kingdom. For the recipient, this royal distinction is a testament to the relationship instilled by the highest authorities of the Gabonese Republic. The honorary distinction received by the head of the Gabonese diplomacy from King Mohammed VI is coincident with the celebration of Eid el-Fitr, a celebration at the Moroccan embassy in Gabon enhanced by the presence of high officials of the Gabonese Republic. Tijani Mohamed Band was elected on Tuesday, June 4th, by acclamation to lead the UN institution, an essentially symbolic post and uprising appointment since he was the only candidate running on behalf of Africa. Only a dozen African countries have chaired the UN General Assembly, the first having been Ghana in 1964. But in September, Nigeria, for the second time, will occupy this position, making the African continent proud again. Although the post does not offer much policy space and does not make of the incumbent a key figure in world policy, Nigeria wanted to win this election. Abuja had sent a high-level delegation to New York to support the candidacy of its permanent representative to the United Nations, and the new chairman says to be confident in his ability to lead the General Assembly's deliberations. For if there are many political and development challenges, Tijani Mohamed Band, 61 years, has a double experience. Trained in the United States and Canada, he first led a linear career as a political science professor and administrator in his country and Morocco, before embarking on a diplomatic career, taking on the role of Nigeria's ambassador to the United Nations since 2017. According to a statement from the Ministry of Defense of Niger, a group of 5 people, including 2 confirmed terrorists, were arrested at the airport district on Saturday afternoon. These terrorists intended to perpetrate attacks in the city of Niamey or its surroundings. 2 other attacks were also foiled in Difa on Sunday, according to the Ministry of Defense, which confirmed information given on Monday morning by local authorities incriminating the Nigerian Islamic group Boko Haram. A city with 200,000 inhabitants, Difa is located a few kilometers from the border with Nigeria, a stronghold of the Islamic sect. Furthermore, on the night of June 2nd to 3rd, 4 more suicide bombers were neutralized, including 1 at the Niger Corporation's public oil depot in the city of Difa and 3 at the airport with their explosive belts and Kalashnikov AK-47 rifles. Sunday morning, still in Difa, an attack targeting a church was foiled. The kamikaze and his guide were arrested in front of the church. They were in possession of an explosive belt with his firing device and an automatic pistol with a 13-round clip. The Ministry of Defense announced on Monday evening in the same statement ground and air raking operations conducted by the multinational force that brings together the armies of Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Cameroon against locations of the terrorist group Boko Haram in the Lake Chad Basin, claiming to have killed 53 terrorists. This region of Difa has been the scene of many Boko Haram attacks since February 2015. And in addition, Niger is facing recurring attacks by Islamists from Sahelian groups in the north and west of the country. Since 1972, June 5th marked the World Environment Day initiated by the United Nations. This 2019 edition focuses on air pollution, a major global issue with more than 7 million people killed every year and 9 out of 10 people breathing polluted air. This has to make us think about how we can change our lives and habits to reduce the pollution we produce and breathe. The United Nations is aware that the protection and improvement of the environment is a matter of major importance that affects the well-being of people and economic development around the world, and has made June 5th a date for celebrating environment worldwide. This allows us to develop the foundation needed to inform public opinion and give individuals, businesses, and communities a sense of responsibility for protecting and improving the environment. Since it has been launched in 1974, this day has become a worldwide platform for public awareness, widely celebrated around the world. The year's theme is air pollution, which has become a major global issue, chosen by China as the host of the 2019 World Environment Day celebrations. This year's theme is a call on everyone to think about how one can change their lives by reducing the air pollution produced and breathed on a daily basis, and therefore contribute to fight against global warming and its effect on human health and the life of every living creature. Today, 9 out of 10 people in the world are exposed to levels of air pollutants that exceed the World Health Organization's safety levels. We are therefore facing a real crisis that calls for swift and radical action. Cameroon can finally relax the Code of Arbitration for Sport seized by the Football Federation of Comoros, who was eager to compete in the 2019 African Cup of Nations, dismissed the plaintiff's appeal. The Football Federation of the Comoros had indeed appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sports in Lausanne for them to be reinstated in the AFCON 2019 in Egypt from June 21st to July 19th. The Comorians felt that the African Football Confederation did not enforce the rules by not sanctioning Cameroon, unable to organize the event, which was finally entrusted to Egypt. This Tuesday 5th marks the end of the journey for Comoros. The court dismissed the two appeals filed by the Comoros Football Federation in January and February. Based on the regulations of the African Football Confederation, the arbitral judges considered that even in the event of disqualification of the Cameroonian national team, such disqualification would have no impact on the Comoros team's qualification in its qualifying group for AFCON 2019, and that it was mathematically impossible for Comoros to qualify for this competition. Playing the Egypt 2019 African Cup of Nations remains for Comoros a dream which will never come to pass. In Niger, a series of attacks against the capital Niamey and Difa, the big city of the southeast, were foiled this week, following an announcement made on Monday by the government, which, however, did not give any information on the identity of suspected terrorists. This Wednesday, June 5th, the World Environment Day, organized by the United Nations, raises awareness around the issue of air pollution and recalls that waste production is one of the main factors in the emission of noxious gases in the air. At last, Cameroon will be present at the 2019 African Cup of Nations in Egypt, despite various appeals by Comoros. The CAS, Court of Arbitration for Sports, finally rejected its request to exclude Cameroon from the next African Cup of Nations. That's all for our newscast today. Stay tuned on Gabon 24 for more news.